Hey Arturo, as we just spoke about on the phone, I am going to go ahead and make a little video to help you through this. As I said, for the spiral, just watch one of the videos that either myself or Miss Coles did. You're literally just going to draw a triangle with two legs that are of the same, as it shows here, of the same distance, and then you connect them, and then you draw another line. So basically all you're going to do is the line that you draw up here, you want it to be a 90-degree angle. So it should look like, I would draw the little box so it looks like a 90-degree angle. And that's all you got to do. You do that, and then you connect these pieces here like that. Try to make it actually attach to the center point, and then you do another 90-degree angle, right? So 90 degrees. So eventually these are going to continue to go, and you're going to have 17 triangles that go in a spiral. And that's what you have to do for the drawing. Now, the calculations, which is what we were talking about. Here's the Pythagorean theorem, right? So a squared plus b squared is c squared. Now, your short leg is a, your long leg is b, and your hypotenuse is c. Now, what's important to remember is you want the letters by themselves. So we've done triangle 1 for you. Triangle 1, the short leg is 0.5, long leg is 0.5, hypotenuse is the square root of 0.5. Now, how did we get the square root of 0.5? From adding the a squared and the b squared, right? Well, squaring means to multiply by itself, right? So a squared, I'll write this just over here as a reference, a squared is the same as a times, that's little a, instead of doing the x, because sometimes you put the x sign and it looks like a variable and it's confusing. So a times a. All right, same with b times b and c times c. So 0.5 times 0.5 is going to get me 0.25. Now what's great is that not only is b the same in this one, so you get 0.25, but also the a's for every triangle are the same. So it's going to be 0.25 for every one of those, right? So you have a starting point. Now, how do we get to the next step? 0.25 plus 0.25 is 0.5. So I get that 0.5 equals c squared, right? As I was saying on the phone, c squared is not the answer. We have to get 0.5 or c by itself, right? So c by itself. So what do we do with 0.5? Well, to get c by itself when it's squared, you take the square root, okay? So the square root is basically dividing it by itself. Now, the symbol for square root is, let's find a good color. There we go, okay. Is this sign right here. So you go square root, and you get square root of c squared is c, right? And the square root of 0.5 is the square root of 0.5. So now we have it, right? Square root of 0.5. Awesome. But now how do we start finding the next parts? Well, a we know is 0.25 when we square it. B, the awesome thing about square roots is that if you square a square root, you get whatever is underneath it. So if I square 0.5, the square root of 0.5, I get 0.5. So 0.25 plus 0.5 is 0.75, and we know that only equals c squared, so now we have to take the square root. See, now we're going to move this down to here again. Square root of 0.75. It's the hypotenuse is going to become the long leg of the next triangle. So 0.75, square root of 0.75 squared, gets me, you got it, 0.75, right? So if I have 0.75, right, if I square it, I get 0.75. So 0.25 plus 0.75 equals 1. So I take the square root, so I get c by itself, square root of 1. Again, move it down there. Square root of 1. If I square it, I get 1, right? Again, whatever's inside or under the square root sign. So I get a 1. 1 plus, again, 0.25. Let's not forget that that's what this is over here, 0.5 squared. 1.25 when I add it together. And that's the c squared, so I need to take a square root. Right, so now, great. Now I'm going to move to the next one. Square root of 1. So you see, it continued, right? You're going to take whatever the c is and put it into the next column. You're going to square that, which means just take whatever's under the square root sign and add that to 0.25. So this, for triangle 5, square root of 1.25, you square it, you get 1.25. 1.25 plus 2.5, or plus 0.25, sorry, is 1.5. And that's c squared, so let's take a square root of 1.5. That's your next answer, right? Then 1.5 is going to go to the next, right? Every time. Whatever you have here is going to go here. So your job is to fill out the rest of this table, do the triangles, and submit it, as we said, by tomorrow afternoon. All right? If you have any questions, bgold@energytechhs.org, the email that you are going to get this from. I hope this helps. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that we get this done and that this is what makes you pass this class. You deserve it. I know you can do it. Let's do this. Mr. Gold, out.